comparing that to trading, I mean, you're risking your money, your emotions are in it. But if you can force yourself to slow down, step through that list, and then truly say, is this a good trade? Or am I just bored? I got my freelance work done for the day, kind of a crappy day. I'm just kind of sitting here, not much going on. I'm going to make a trade. And then you lose money, and then you get mad, and then you
try and make it back, and then you lose more.
You try and make it back and lose more. Now, listen, is it gonna turn you from a money losing trader to Paul Tudor Jones? I don't think so, but I think that it's going to force better habits. All right, welcome back to the SteadyTrade Podcast, everyone. I am Tim Bohen, back with Steven. Kim's traveling again, we think. Steven and I, in classic great preparatory fashion, we thought Kim was traveling, but we changed the record time and we forgot to tell her. But we're going to roll with it because of the fact that Steven came up with a really cool idea. Remember, I know I bug all of you all the time. Shoot us those emails, give us those comments, because, and I really, really mean this, and Steven means it, and Kim means it. I mean, we have, thanks to StocksToTrade, thanks to SteadyTrade, I mean, at the end of the day, they should probably be checked into a mental institution, but they give us free reign, free editorial reign to do whatever we want with this podcast. And the reason I bring that up is we want to help you. Okay. If you're on that treadmill right now, if you're on that commute right now, or if you're pretending like you're working and you're listening to us, let us know what you want out of the podcast, whether it be, more interviews. We there for a while, almost a year, all we did was interviews. Then we kind of thought, oh, that's too many interviews. So then we did other stuff. So we're always experimenting, always testing. But at the end of the day, give us those comments, whether it be on YouTube or SteadyTrade or Twitter or Instagram or wherever, so that we can cater the podcast to you. Now, that being said, Steven was watching a podcast on YouTube, and they kind of did this format where they did 4 topics, 5 minutes each on those topics. So he put together 4 topical topics, timely topics. And that's what we're going to do today. And here's the cool, the great thing is he's got 4 topics, 5 minutes each. Start your timer, because I will probably exceed the 5-minute limit, just giving what the topic is. So take a drink every time I go past 5 minutes, because I can't even, I can barely get started. I can barely introduce myself 200 podcasts later in less than 5 minutes. So thank you, Steven. Thank you for the contact, the idea, and welcome back, my man. So
yeah. Thank you so much. How's it going? It's a little bit slower out there.
Yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing. And this is something I talk about a lot, is I think, you especially if you're new, you'll hear me say this, it only takes one, and listen, SPRT was great back-to-back days. I mean, You had to be patient, but like TCAD, I mean, just right now, TKAT, NFT play, which is one of Steven's topics, once that thing broke yesterday, I mean, TCAT's the worst stock in the world. Once it broke yesterday's high, it spiked like freaking $2 a share. So I agree, slower, but, I think it's, for people that have been trading a long time, like you have, I have, we can manage more. We can manage 10 stocks running all over. But to me, I think if you're a newbie, times like this are almost better, because, especially if you're under the PDT. I mean, it's like, listen, if you're under the worst thing in the world, is to be under the PDT and have like this perfect setup and you got no day trades. So that's the one nice thing. If there is nothing going on in the morning, you close your terminal and you save your day trade.
Well, before we get into the topics, first off, congratulations. We'll air it publicly on the, was it FLGC? What was the ticker? You guessed more or less to the penny correct on that afternoon ramp.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Because it was
Was it FLGC?
was it FLG?
I can't remember the ticker.
Anyway,
FLGC, something else.
Yep. The run to 10, man.
Yeah.
I'm usually good at this, but it was a week ago. That's the problem. I can remember like everything from like 24 hours. I mean, listeners know, you bring up a ticker, I'm like, oh, it's this in 24 hours. But after I'm too much of after 24 hours, it all just kind of goes away.
Do you know, and this is the last thing I'll say before we'll get into it, but before we started doing this podcast like 4 years ago, I knew I had a problem remembering any ticker ever. And I was getting severe anxiety before every podcast at knowing that we would talk about a ticker and I would not remember the name. So I used to like write them down without showing you. But anyway, that was like 4 years ago, and now I've just
and here's the thing, and again, the listener might be like, and listen, if you're a faithful listener, a lot of times Stephen will be trading this stock and I'll have to like remind him what the ticker is. But here's the beauty of that. You might be like, how's that, but keep in mind the stocks we trade, the stocks we recommend trading. And Stephen, you hear me on the webinars a lot. I mean, it's just 4 letters, man. It's like, it doesn't matter if it's TCAT or SPRT or FLGC. I mean, they're all the same at the end. Yeah, exactly.
they're all crap. And you'll be looking at 10 to 15 a day. And as soon as one's out of play, you forget it. Yep. So it can be understood, but the SBIs, the TCATs, is it BBTT?
BTBT, yep.
See, that's how bad I am. So, right, let's just roll in. So, topic 1, 5 minutes, the return of meme stonks.
Yes.
Very, very impressed with AMC's comeback. I don't know if it was news driven. We got that late day VWAP hold afternoon squeeze. I believe it did not go from 12 to 70. It went from
yesterday AMC went from 37 to 48. Yeah. So like a 30, almost 30% move. Yeah. Yep. So
which is massive for a big
$20 billion market cap. Yeah.
But I'm just curious to get your thoughts on, I mean, like a degenerate on a quiet day, I got stuck long and short on this, but what's your thoughts on AMC? What's your thoughts on the comeback? Right now, I mean, 25th of August, breaking front side trend. It's looking like a failed bounce to me.
Well, I think, so the news was, and understand the news was very dubious, but, yesterday it dropped that Citadel was basically pulling money from Melvin Capital. Okay. Remember Melvin, this is, I know it feels like years ago, but it was just a few months ago. Remember Melvin was the big hedge fund that was going against the Wall Street bets plays, shorting them, and and all the hoodies went after Melvin, and so anyway, Citadel, which Ken Griffin's got more money than God. Okay, he started pulling money out, and now that changes, and this is again something for the listener when we talk about it's just tickers. That changes nothing for the long term prospects of AMC. I mean, AMC is still doomed, and I've been saying that for a year. But what's cool about these meme stocks is the hoodies, the Redditors, the WSBs. They just grab on something and run them. And again, if you're in the right place at the right time, if you know these tickers, which again you can't forget AMC. We joke about, or GME or all the we joke about these crappy biotechs that spike once and never do anything for 5 years. But I mean, you start seeing an AMC on your volume scan, on your Gapper scan, man, you need to pay attention. And so that was the why yesterday. And then ultimately, listen, I told everyone yesterday afternoon, a lot of people wanted to gap these. And I'm like, man, I just don't know. I think this is that one and done I talk about. And, as of right now, AMC's struggling. I mean, it's trying to stay green, but really struggling. Yeah. So I don't know if we're there yet, but in my opinion, especially as we get into fall, winter is, that's the busy season. Everyone, a lot of the a lot of the world, is in the northern hemisphere, and it's like you just don't go outside anymore. It gets dark, it's cold, and you might be like, weather for real, Tim? But it's like, yeah, I mean, listen, I trade less in the summer. I want to freaking go outside. I want to do things, where when it's 10 degrees in Michigan, it's like, I'm just going to trade all day. So I do think there is a resurgence coming. And yesterday was encouraging, but something I say all the time is let these things, wait for 2 or 3 days, because, and this is a quote I said on the SteadyTrade team webinar. I'm like, listen, if it's the true resurgent, you don't have to be there on day one. Okay.
Yeah,
if AMC's actually going to 100, you don't need to be there on day one. You can trade on day 2, day 3, day 4, maybe 2 weeks from now, post Labor Day, when it's breaking the highs. So you don't have to be first. If it's really a true run, same thing I say with weed stocks and stuff. It's like so many people get bagged on the weed stocks because they want to pile in day one. Let them prove themselves.
Yeah, I know. And I think that a lot of the weed stocks these days and AMC, what they all have in common is that they're very heavy floats that are going to struggle to bounce. Yeah. And what a lot of people don't realize as well is like you can get your TCATs and you can get your BTXs that it might be worth trying to find the bounce because the 3 million floats, 5 million floats.
Yeah, exactly.
It's going to rip. But the likes of AMC, it's just not likely. You're going to try and get that bounce 10 times and it's not going to work 10 times. So you're dead right with what you're saying about trying to just wait for the confirmation.
And I know nobody wants to wait. I mean, but it's like, like I said, I've said it a bunch. I've pre-market prep. I'm like, just set an alert at like 60. Because here's the thing, right now AMC's at 40. Okay. If it gets to 60, the party's on. Okay. I mean, it's like the squeeze is on. And that's my big thing. I mean, I know, the story of the 2 bulls, right, Stephen?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, it's kind of R-rated for the podcast, but yeah. Anyway, the listener can Google the story of the 2 bulls, but everyone is just all FOMO'd up, and you can just wait and look at those key levels, 50, 60, 70, etc.
Yeah, so. But and the other thing is when AMC last ran, I mean, watch it'll end up running, right? But when AMC last ran,
she's headed for high day right now.
I know. But it was June. There was like everyone knew what a meme stonk was. Like yep. Even random people knew what it was. We're hitting volume in 800 million. Like, how's AMC going to squeeze on summer trading a fifth of its normal volume when it's already done it and lightning doesn't strike twice? Do you know what I mean? Yep. And everyone's already been bagged once. So it's just, yeah, for me, I think you're stupid to short. I think anyone shorting AMC is stupid. Because you never say never.
right.
But yeah,
that's my point. So I mean, we can move on. We're well past the 5 minutes, obviously. But I took up 4 minutes and 59 seconds of the 5 minutes. But that's why I talked about that key level thing is because, think of that rule of 10, you'll hear me talk about. I mean, when it breaks 5, when it breaks 6, okay. And again, that's a rule of 10 idea. That's where you're going to see panic. That's where you're going to see FOMO. And when you're just talking range bound right now, I mean, again, AMC is going, once it gets into the 50s, there's just a brick wall of resistance. And I just think the odds are it fails at that point. So.
Okay, so the return of the meme stonks is not quite yet, but wait.
Not yet,
but wait.
Post Labor Day, but when the chill is in the air, okay. When the leaves start to turn, okay. When Steven has the Han Solo outfit, you know what the Han Solo outfit is, right?
No.
You don't. Well, you're not in America. That's right. So people will know that the Han Solo outfit, especially like on college campuses, when the girls bring out the tall boots and the sweaters and the pumpkin spice candles and the lattes, that is when meme stocks will return. I promise you that.
Okay, I'm gonna go with that and take your word. The second topic is the NFT comeback, the resurgence of TCAT. Very nice red to green today on the 25th of August. again, like, but this is a low floater, so this is kind of more expected. But we got that crazy run from the 10s to the 70s. It's been kind of dead since. It's been a really like a 1-day runner, and then this is the first time in a long time it's put in 2 days.
Yeah, and I think, I will admit, okay, and we have podcasts that you can go back and listen to probably, January, February. What has me excited about the NFT stuff is they never really, I think NFTs kind of warmed up and then meme stocks kind of pushed them to the side type thing. So I think, especially as we right now, okay, we're recording August 25th. I think we might get a real NFT run because I know TCAT went big, DLPN went big, a couple other ones, but it was over in like a week. It was like, and you just look, everyone, it's cover of mainstream media and, these pixelated, I still don't get it. Listen, I know I'm an old man, but I remember Beanie Babies. Do you remember Beanie Babies?
Kind of, yeah, vaguely.
That was like the Beanie Babies like made eBay. Okay. Like no one knew about eBays. And then all of a sudden these little stuffed animal things, like, people were trading them and it went nuts or like Cabbage Patch Kids. That's even older. So that's like the 80s. But listen, in my opinion, if you bought an NFT and you could sell it for a big profit, run away and move on. But it's mainstream right now. And who knows, may last several years. And I'm excited because of the fact that a lot of these guys never had that chance to do the offerings. Okay. That is the one good thing about the short NFT run we had. They didn't have time to dilute. It ended so fast. So now they're all still low floats. They haven't pumped up the float. They haven't done the reverse splits. They haven't had any time for that yet. So I'm excited. Especially, another week it's post Labor Day. And I think that this we'll see, but I think this could really be a hot sector.
Yeah, the good thing about NFTs, it's actually like a legitimate sector.
Sure,
but so is weed, right? But but if you look at the weed stocks, weed was a legitimate sector. It ran 4 times in a row. The diluted 4 times in a row.
Exactly.
And now everyone's kind of like, all right, it's done. But with the NFTs, it's like we've got all that to come, right?
See, and great point, and we're agreeing, and again, newbies might not understand that. They might be like, well, why do these weed stock, somebody will go on the Senate floor and be like, oh, we're legalized weed. And then everybody's like, why aren't they going anywhere? Well, because they diluted so much and there's so many more shares out there and people have been burned so many times. Remember the first weed stock run was 2015. We're going on 7 years ago. The beauty of the NFT stuff is it's February. It's just a few months ago. So so Stephen and I are agreeing, they haven't had time to burn everybody with these offerings. They haven't had time to increase the float by 1 billion shares, and insiders haven't really sold. So they're motivated to pump. It's like the perfect, it's the perfect, and as we both mentioned, they've got the mainstream media coverage. So it's like the perfect potential storm.
Perfect storm in a teacup.
Yep, exactly.
Two more small topics to jump onto. We've talked about this before, but part-time trading in slow markets. It's heavily discussed on the podcast before, but it's relevant. How I wish. Well, I've kind of got freelance work, but I'm still fall victim to this stupid over trading.
The biggest thing I will say, and I think I've touched on this or not, but one of the big things that I recommended, and I have those worksheets that I share with the SteadyTrade team, but you can create your own. I think that as much, and again, I know I'm old school and I'm old, but I really think forcing yourself, and I've mentioned the Checklist Manifesto. Okay. It's a book I read 10 years ago. And basically it focuses on like even in emergency situations. So, Stephen comes in with a gunshot wound because some angry husband shot him because he's, out on the town with the guy's wife or whatever. Even in those situations, if the surgeon steps through like a physical checklist, the odds of mistakes, I don't remember the math, exponentially lower. even in life or death situations. And comparing that to trading, I mean, you're risking your money, your emotions are in it. But if you can force yourself to slow down, step through that list, and then truly say, is this a good trade or am I just bored? I got my freelance work done for the day. Maybe it's, again, it's the theme talking about the weather. Hey, it's kind of a crappy day. I'm just kind of sitting here, not much going on. I'm going to make a trade. And then you lose money and then you get mad. And then make
it back and then you lose more.
You try to make it back and lose more. So that, I tell you, and again, whether it's my list or some sort of list, checklist, I think. Now, listen, is it gonna turn you from a money losing trader to Paul Tudor Jones? I don't think so, but I think that it's going to force better habits. And in the firearms training world, there's this quote, and I think it's very applicable to trading. And slow is smooth and smooth is fast. Okay, so keep in mind, again, listen, if you're getting in a gunfight, okay, it's not the same as trading. But if you can practice those repetitions and you can build good habits, slow is smooth and smooth is fast. So even if you're coming and it doesn't, you're not like on the movies, and you minimize mistakes. And if you minimize mistakes, less potential for disaster.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely true. And actually what turned my trading around a lot is just a checklist. Creating a checklist saying, does it fit? Is there any red flags across these 6 criteria?
Perfect.
If there's 2, I'm sizing down. If there's 3, I'm going long. And if there's 1 or none, I'm trading it with a bit more size. So it's, but it's also that, can you step away? Can you physically step away? If you're on a good month, good week, think, I'll just risk 200, 300, whatever it is. I'll just risk a little bit because I love the vanity of that green day in the calendar,
Oh, sure.
right? Love the vanity of just all green that week, not a black zero. Last topic, it's just small lifestyle. How's the 75 hard?
So interesting. So I'm glad you brought it up because I was going to do an Instagram live, but I had too much going on. So if you want to check out 75 Hard, Andy Frisella, I noticed you posted an Andy Frisella clip the other day. By the way,
I did.
Well done. Yeah.
I would have done it without realizing that's how.
Yeah, he was ranting. You posted your Instagram stories, him
like
ranting
that.
about something.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even remember what the topic was. Something about like hard work or discipline or something. But
yeah.
But anyway, so just real quick, basically, it's 2 45-minute workouts a day, minimum. Okay, has to be 45 minutes. One has to be outdoors. You got to stick to a diet. You choose your diet, whatever. I mean, obviously, it shouldn't be like all pizza diet. Okay, but you choose a healthy diet. You stick to that. No alcohol. Read 10 pages a day. Water a day, and a progress pick a day. So anyway, you can Google it and check it out. So I'm officially, today is 25 days in, and man, I tell you, it's
feel good. I feel tired.
No, awesome, man. I can't recommend it enough. About once a week, I go to bed at like 7 o'clock. Okay. So about once a week, it catches up with me, but day to day, I tell you, it's my energy level, my thinking. I tell you, like reading has gone way up from where it was, and I love to read. Again, the brain, man. I'm just like, I got lists and to-dos, and I can't recommend it enough, man. My plan, probably what I'm going to do now, I'm 25 days in. I might not say this on day 74, but as much as I'm enjoying it, I'm down 10 pounds. My resting heart rate went from 59 to 49. Okay. So my resting heart rate, big time drop. I think that's mostly the alcohol. I mean, like I could, if you check, like you got a Fitbit or an Apple Watch, if you drink the night before, your resting heart rate will be way up. And then if you go like 2-3 days without drinking, it comes way down, which shows you how stressful that is for you. Yeah. But And keep in mind, I don't want to lose weight. Okay. I lost 8 pounds. It's just fat because I'm doing full on meathead workouts. Okay. I'm not. So, heart rate, emotion, what I want to say, attitude is the word I was looking for. Just across the board, man, checking the boxes, man. I can't recommend it enough. So
it's very, it's not like, I don't want to say it's obvious, but I mean, it's catering to how we're designed as humans, right? To meet those physical needs. We should be running around. We should be exercising. We should be active. We should be eating clean anyway. Quickest way to get depressed is to do nothing in a room.
That was the clip you posted. Basically, the rant was, and I go on this rant a lot, was, a lot of people got made up problems. And that was the quote, Frizzell, that you posted.
Yes.
He was like, listen, you ain't got, if you're now, and I always like to give the disclaimer, okay? If you're homeless in America, if you got disease, you got real sickness, you got problems. But a significant majority of people, massive majority in Western worlds, UK, America, France, you ain't got real problems. Okay. You ain't, and now you might think you do.
Yeah.
And that was what his rant was about. Now I remember. Yeah. So
and it's just everyone has the opportunity to kind of do what they want to do. It's just, you just have to force yourself to put the work in. And sometimes with the likes of trading, it's not, you don't have to force yourself too much. You might do 2 hours and force the third if you're studying, or force the fourth, but it's a mix of things, because you need to be passionate, but you need to force yourself sometimes as well.
Mm-hmm. And I tell you, again, when I talk about just attitude, it's like, so what I'm doing, just again, if people are curious, I do weight training in the morning, 6 a.m. roughly. And then my cardio, my second workout is a 10K on the rower, which is a little under 45 minutes, but it's roughly 45 minutes. And usually in the afternoon, sometimes in the evening. And I tell you, it's like, you get that second workout done, you dread it. I'm like, oh, I don't want another 10K on the rower, but you get it done, and man, it's just like you accomplished it, especially when you didn't want to do it, and it's energizing, man.
Are you getting some headaches in the early stages? Are just feeling like washed out, wiped out, like the early stages of pushing yourself?
No, nothing mental. Just like, I mean, I will always remember it was day 4, I woke up day 5 after 4 days. And I mean, I woke up and I'm like, why are both my arms asleep? Because like normally, you wake up and you're on one arm and your arm's numb, but my arms weren't asleep. It was just like, and I like crawled out of bed, and it was, I mean, probably the 2 worst workouts of my life that day. Okay. I lifted weights, but if anybody was watching, it was embarrassing. I'm like crawling around. I rode my worst time of the, but just physically, mentally, I've had no downsides. So,
but you'll do the worst row of all time, thinking me arms are broke and they're going to be even more broke after this. And then the next day they're stronger. Or
yes, yeah, next day was awesome. Yeah. So
just pull through,
and it's like, and obviously longtime listeners know Steven and I are just huge fanboys of Dave Goggins, and it's like, his biggest thing is your brain's quitting on you way before your body's going to quit on you. And I might be sitting there thinking, oh, I can't do this, or I can't. And that's all here,
Yeah, but I just, the only thing that I'm like, because I surf all the time, right? The only thing, and I'm not as thin as you, not as light as you. The only thing I worry about is when I feel my knees and I feel me groin. Sure. Sometimes I'm like, should I be pushing this? When you're getting those niggles and those slight injuries before they're injuries, should you be pushing there, and just being like,
well, and that's where, again, remember, I'm older than dirt. Okay. So I just, I mean, the nice thing is, I mean, this is what I would say. I mean, I've been training weightlifting since, like, middle school, basically. So now, again, I'm not like some jack dude, but I've been lifting basically my entire adult life. So I know when to back off, and again, I'm an old guy. I got responsibilities. I got a family. I can't be getting hurt. So I just, and obviously surfing's dangerous. I mean, listen, if I'm doing deadlifts and I feel a little twing, I just take some weight off and I finish the set, so that would be the one tip I would tell you. Listen, if you're my age and you haven't lifted in 30 years, take it easy. Okay. Take it easy. So
but show up, do your best, and do a little more the next time, right? That's
exactly. I mean, that's the old quote. It's like, you never regret the workout you did, you'll always you'll regret the ones you skipped. You're like, oh man, my arms are sore, I'm going to call it a day. And then you're at the end of the day, you're like, I'm such a loser, skipped it. At least if you show up, you get through it, you never regret that. So
yeah, no. And just the final thing from me is Joe Rogan says so many things so well. And he's like, if you skip it, you're the one who's going to have to lie in bed with himself.
Yep.
Thinking, I'll let myself down today. You made a promise to yourself. And if you can't keep your own promises, how can other people trust you if you can't even trust yourself? Little things like that are kind of, they can get to you, and they're true.
And I tell you, it's a great point. And so like, it's interesting as this process evolves, like day 3 or 4, hey, I thought about quitting. I'm flat out. No. I thought about it, but day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. But once you get a week in, I'm like, I ain't quitting now. So that my point is, what I'm saying is, just get through that week. Cause then, they got the little app, it's free, and you see those 7 check marks. It's like, man, it's easy to quit when you got 2 check marks. Cause you think about it, I quit, and then I start Monday, and you only got to get 2 check marks to get back where you were. That's what I love about the idea of of the program he devised. It's simple, but it's like, I mean, listen, I'm 25 days in, barring an injury, I ain't quitting. I'm getting a freaking 75. Okay.
Yeah.
Now if I blow a hammy or something, but barring injury, I ain't quitting now.
But I mean, and that's the amazing thing, though. I mean, you're doing a 75-day challenge, and you kind of sound like you're saying, well, I might just do 100. Might just do 100 just for the sake of it, because I'm
yeah. And basically as much as I'm enjoying this, my plan is I might, listen, I said this when I started and I've said it on the podcast a million times, pizza. Okay. Pizza, some cold beer with a pizza. Okay. But that's my nemesis. What I might do at day 76 is I might order like a rock, the rock size pizza that's like as big as a table, and get a freaking 12-pack of beer. But then the next day, man, I might just do another 75. Yeah.
I mean, for me, I've been struggling with random different diets and stuff, but I'll never forget. I set a challenge. I was in Dubai, and I'd run like 5K, and I'd swim 2K every morning before work. So I was like out 7 a.m., sun's rising, running to the beach, swimming way out, swimming back, running back. Did that for 30 days. And in about 15 to 20 days, first 10 days were hard, just like yours. About 20 days in, I started thinking, what it is? I could run 8K. I don't need to run 5, and I could swim 2K. I don't need to swim 1. I just want to do more. I want to do more because it physically feels great. And then the challenge was a month. It was meant to be 30. I went on to 50. Never felt better. Never felt better. Never felt happier. Lost a load of weight. Didn't intend to. Just did it because it's fun. Did it.
Yeah. Same with me. I mean, I didn't set out to lose weight, but I'm, like I said, I'm down like, I think 8 or 9 pounds in 25 days. Yeah.
So I mean, you don't have to be Goggins, but you need to grind through the first 7 days. Like the first 7 are never going to be good with anything. Your body's going to tell you to quit.
Yep.
Get through, and it's fun. One of the funnest things you'll ever do.
Oh, and then you had asked about, the other thing, like a lot of people are like, people ask about like alcohol. For me, that first week, I'd be like, oh man, beer sounds good. Last 2 weeks, hasn't even crossed and 100% hand on the Bible honesty hasn't even crossed my mind. That first week, That first week, I'm like, man, it'd be kind of nice to grab a couple beers right now. But last 2 weeks never crossed my mind.
Your wife's never having a glass of white wine or a glass of red wine with something on the TV or nothing like that. No family.
Now, the full disclosure, she doesn't drink, so I don't have that temptation. So. And I don't know, maybe that would make a difference. Maybe if we were hanging out and she was drinking. So I guess I'm blessed that she doesn't drink. So, so I don't, that's a good point where I definitely see where that could be tempting, where you're like, I'm sitting here with my freaking jug of water.
Tired, worked out all day in the sun. I'll just have some water.
So I will say that unfortunately I don't have that temptation. So.
All right, I'm out of topics. That's a wrap from my end.
No, I liked it.
Worked it through.
So I'm like 99% sure we didn't hit 5 minutes on any of them.
Nah,
but it was fun. So that being said, thank you, Stephen. And I mean this. If you get a minute, please let us know. And remember, we're open to anything. If you're like, hey, I like this idea, but Tim needs to shut up. He went past, I could force myself to be like a minute. Steven does a minute and we move on. If you like that rapid fire, or if you like us saying we're going to go 5 minutes and go in 15 minutes, but give us those suggestions, share with your friends, subscribe, and most importantly, have a great day, everyone. Have a great day, Steven, and we'll see you on the next Steady Trade podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Thanks so much for watching and being part of the Stocks to Trade community. We wouldn't be here without you guys. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you have not already. Our goal is to hit 100,000 subscribers by the end of the year, but we can't do it without you guys. So if you like what we're doing here and you want to hear more, please, please, please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys on the next video.